Okay, let's get some of these questions answered. I'm 46 years old. 2 days ago, I had a heart attack. I have no previous medical conditions. I have never taken a COVID vaccine, and I had some warnings approximately a week before. So about a week ago, I started waking up in the morning with my left shoulder was just kind of like sore, where it felt like I was sleeping on it wrong, which I actually chalked up to possibly being like a frozen shoulder from perimenopause. The day before I had my heart attack, I woke up in the morning, my shoulder was sore, and I felt like I was going to throw up. It really only took me about 15 minutes to get over that, and I just went about my day like it was nothing. The morning of my heart attack, I woke up and my shoulder was sore. I felt like I was going to throw up. I went and got some coffee. I sat back down for a second, and it started to feel like my chest was kind of tight and like someone was squeezing it. And then the pain from my shoulder kind of started going down my arm a little bit. At that point, I held my husband up and told him, "Don't go to work yet. I'm really not feeling that well. I'm going to jump in the shower and see if that makes me feel better." He asked me if he needed to call an ambulance. I said, "Let me just take a hot shower really quick and see if that helps." I took a shower. By the time I got out, I felt better. I actually had a doctor's appointment for 10 o'clock that morning for something else. And I said, "Go ahead and go to work because I'm going to be at the doctor's office later anyway. So I'm sure he's going to listen to my heart. I will tell him what happened. And if he sends me to the emergency room, then I'll just let you know and you can just meet me there." So I did go to the doctor's office at 10 o'clock. I told him everything that happened. And he said at that point that sometimes there can be like a warning where your body kind of corrects itself, and that if it happens again, I should go straight to the emergency room. But he didn't feel like I should go to the emergency room right then because I wasn't experiencing any symptoms, and they probably weren't going to be able to see what was going on. I left the doctor's appointment. I went to go get some lunch. I walked out from the restaurant, and the feelings started all over again. By the time I went from the restaurant to maybe a couple doors over to a store, I probably was experiencing a full heart attack at that point. The arm pain was radiating all the way down. My chest felt like it was being squeezed as tight as you could squeeze it. I started to feel sick again. I texted my husband and said the feeling came back and that I was one street away from the emergency room. And I was trying to make a decision at that point as to whether or not I was going to call for an ambulance and have them come pick me up, or if I was just going to drive to the next street over to the emergency room. I actually hesitated as I was getting in the car because I was trying to decide who was going to be able to get me there faster. I got in the car and I went, and as I was going to the next street over is when I started experiencing extreme sweating. The pain was radiating all the way down, almost more as a numbing feeling at that point. I was inside the hospital probably within 2 minutes. There was probably about 50 people in the waiting room. I went straight up to the counter and said, "I need someone to look at my heart right this second." At that point, I was shaking. There was a male nurse who actually peeked his head around the corner at that point and saw me, who I will find, who saved my life that day. He saw me, he waved me back, and it was within seconds that we knew I was having a heart attack. It was probably minutes for me being prepped before the cath lab, and it was probably minutes after that that I was up in the cath lab. There was obviously a very tight protocol and procedure that was followed at the hospital. I had walked into an extremely good hospital. There was some things that happened with my daughter, who I have a special needs daughter. She was with me at the time, and my other daughter was walking in the door while they were explaining that I was having a heart attack. And so I will talk about all of those other things that happened, but I just really wanted to answer everyone's questions about what my symptoms were. And my husband is sitting here staring at my heart rate on the screen, so he's not going to let me say anymore. Okay, bye.